on the table for everything, including love and friendships. And for some reason, if something doesn't work or if it's too hard, we're now more prone as a culture.
Good afternoon, everyone. On this Hump Day Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, your Rush Hour Rundown starts. Now with a heavy dose of pop culture before moving into politics and breaking news, we're leading with the Blake Lively situation, where people aligned with her side appear to be pushing to keep parts of the upcoming trial redacted, even as many are calling for everything to be aired publicly. From there, the conversation shifts to politics, including the US seizing a Russian oil tanker, a move that raises serious concerns, and then to a developing story involving ICE and a shooting during a deportation that could spark widespread protests. Diving deeper into the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni case, which has been unfolding for nearly a year, attention is now on Isabel Farahar, the actress who played a younger version of Blake Lively in It Ends With Us and filmed intimate scenes with an actor portraying Baldoni's younger self. After those scenes, she reportedly sent Baldoni a friendly text praising his work, yet following the harassment lawsuit, she has publicly aligned herself with Blake Lively, prompting questions about what changed. While it's entirely possible for someone to speak positively about a powerful figure despite uncomfortable experiences, new developments suggest Isabel is attempting to keep parts of her deposition sealed, even though portions were used by Baldoni's team in a motion for summary judgment arguing the case could be dismissed outright. Her legal team's position is essentially that the public doesn't need access to this information, but critics argue that public perception matters just as much as legal outcomes, especially if Baldoni is seeking full vindication rather than a quiet settlement. This raises speculation about what could be so damaging or sensitive that it must remain hidden, whether it involves navigating Hollywood power dynamics, protecting relationships, or concerns about career repercussions given the imbalance in fame and influence between Isabel and Blake Lively. The filings also reference sensitive personal matters, including details about filming intimate scenes and even the religious affiliation of a non-party, which has only intensified curiosity about what's really at stake, and whether these claims are being used strategically to justify sealing records. Ultimately, the judge will decide whether these redactions are warranted. But with multiple parties and companies connected to Blake Lively also seeking to seal documents, the central question remains: if there's nothing to hide, why keep so much out of public view? Let's get the truth out there and let it rise to the surface. Because one notable person who hasn't asked for anything to be sealed is Taylor Swift, which has sparked plenty of speculations. Some say it's redundant if Blake Lively's side is already pushing for redaction, while others think Taylor may simply want the truth out without being seen as the one pulling the trigger. Comments from viewers have only fueled the debate, with many pointing out the contradiction of wanting to hide statements about intimate scenes that were previously described as positive experiences, or references to religious affiliation, especially given how Blake Lively publicly framed certain scenes to make Justin Baldoni look far worse than the reality suggested. Isabel Farahar's close relationship with Blake, which Blake herself has praised in glowing terms, that has added to the perception that loyalty and career pressure may be influencing what's being kept quiet from there. The celebrity drama rolls on, with an unexpected clash involving Ashley Tisdale after she spoke about leaving a toxic mom group, prompting a sarcastic and pointed response from Hilary Duff's husband Matthew Coma that turned the situation into a full-blown pop culture moment, made even messier by Haley Duff appearing to like related posts, setting off rumors of tension between the Duff sisters themselves. As if that weren't enough, the internet also latched onto a viral moment of Shawn Mendes accepting a food delivery while wrapped in a towel, another reminder of how unfiltered and oddly relatable celebrity life can look in these candid snapshots. From family drama to social media shade and viral delivery photos, it's been a wild mix of Hollywood moments. And after a quick break, the conversation continues with Chris Reed opening up about dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, plus a look at one of the worst-kept secrets in Hollywood right now. There are no subscription fees at all. You simply pay for the medication. Period. Making Goy Meds the no-drama option with free shipping and customer service that actually cares. And if you qualify, a provider can prescribe GLP-1 medication options that help with appetite control, so you can focus on being healthy by visiting Gabim.com Russia and using code RUSHHOUR for $50 off. Keeping in mind, prescription products require a medical consultation and compounded drugs are not FDA approved. Shifting gears to pop culture, SNL alum Chris Redd has opened up candidly about dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, insisting it was never planned and firmly denying being a homo, explaining that the relationship happened long after the marriage ended, and emphasizing how uncomfortable it's been carrying the speculation for years, a vulnerability that many feel is more compelling than SNL's recent output itself. Red's comments have sparked renewed conversation about unspoken boundaries within comedy circles, especially since he's no longer on the show, while viewers noted how emotionally difficult it seemed for him to finally address the situation publicly. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce is weighing whether to return for a 14th NFL season, admitting he needs time to let his body heal and his mind reset after a disappointing year for the Chiefs. Reflecting on how hard it is for athletes to imagine life beyond the sport even as he acknowledges the love he still has for the game. Rounding things out, Kai Trump, the president's granddaughter, shared on Logan Paul's podcast how dating is awkward under constant Secret Service protection, describing the strange experience of trying to have a normal night out while agents sit just tables away. A reminder that even everyday moments become complicated when public life and personal life collide. She explained that even when you're starting to relax and enjoy a date, the constant presence of Secret Service agents makes everything feel awkward, forcing you to stay hyper-aware instead of living in the moment. And she said the hardest part early on was losing the freedom to be spontaneous. Every outing has to be planned down to the minute, which is something most people never think about in normal life. Over time, she's learned that the only way to cope is to stop focusing on who's watching and instead concentrate on the people she's with, comparing it to the way parents constantly keep an eye on a young child just to make sure nothing goes wrong. While she admits it's not easy, especially at such a young age, she recognizes it's part of the reality of living in the public eye. From there, the conversation shifted to bigger global issues, questioning how the rest of the world views the United States right now and whether recent actions, like detaining foreign leaders, are actually changing anything at all or just creating more confusion, leaving many to wonder what direction things are heading and how it all looks from the outside. The criticism escalates with the argument that the United States has crossed a dangerous line by allegedly abducting the leader of a sovereign nation along with his family, resulting in deaths and raising fears about where such actions could lead next, whether Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Panama, Greenland, or elsewhere, prompting warnings that failing to stand up to bullies only emboldens further violations. That concern is echoed by foreign voices questioning what is being allowed to happen. While back at home, attention turns to Pete Hegseth, who sharply rebuked a reporter for asking how much taxpayer money is being spent, dismissing the question as disingenuous even though the public is routinely affected by rising healthcare costs and economic strain. The frustration lies in being told not to ask about billions, what potentially spent on military operations, oil tanker seizures, and foreign interventions, while ordinary people struggle to afford basic necessities and see no direct benefit in return. Defenders frame these actions as historic, highly sophisticated missions that only the United States can carry out and claim the world is taking notice. Yet critics argue that success cannot be declared years in advance and that seizing oil tankers and foreign leaders feels less like justice and more like piracy, leaving many to wonder who is truly being served and whether accountability has been completely sidelined. The situation continues to escalate, with the U.S. seizing two Ghost Fleet tanker ships, including a Russian-flagged tanker linked to Venezuela, following carefully coordinated operations in the North Atlantic and Caribbean, sparking questions about the human and financial costs of these actions. While reports emphasize the precision and success of the missions, critics note that dozens of Venezuelans reportedly died and question why the public is expected to overlook these consequences, especially when there are rising domestic crises like unaffordable healthcare. The operations also don't lower gas prices for Americans but instead appear to benefit political interests, leaving many skeptical about the true priorities. Meanwhile, back home in Minnesota, a fatal shooting during a massive ICE immigration operation has ignited outrage and confusion, with officials claiming the use of a vehicle as a weapon constituted domestic terrorism, while others questioned the necessity and training of agents entering neighborhoods to enforce deportations, especially when targeting non-violent individuals. The combination of aggressive foreign interventions and controversial domestic enforcement has left many Americans feeling both unsafe and unheard, highlighting deep tensions in how power is exercised and who it ultimately serves. Amid all this, the news cycle moves rapidly, and as always, updates continue to unfold, leaving viewers to grapple with the serious human, political and ethical questions these events raise.